Hello, this is Danny, aka Genni from jennyandgina.blogspot.com. Today is Thursday, June 7th, 2012. Welcome to the show. Hi, it's Thursday, yay! I'm finding that it's a lot easier actually to do videos rather than blogging, so I may be doing a video blog rather than a regular blog a little bit more often. I don't know, I'm still working out the specs, but I really like doing the videos on Thursdays, so we're going to do videos. This is going to hang out for a while. Okay, so this past week, what's been going on this past week since last Thursday? Actually last Thursday I went to Raleigh Knit Night. I tend to bounce around to different knitting groups because I move so much and I'm always in a new place, and then I end up not staying at one knitting group for a very long time. And so I always end up being the new kid at knitting group. Anyway, so I went to Raleigh Knit Night. It was lots of fun. Everybody was really, really nice and really welcoming, but it was farther from home than I remembered. So I don't know if I'll be going regularly to that one, but it was really, really nice. Also, I'm in the middle of getting I'm at the beginning of getting my doula certification. A doula is like a birth coach. And I have a lot of reading. So what I'm doing to organize my reading is to start a blog about my journey and what I've learned and kind of share that information with other women. Because I noticed that a lot of women don't know what a doula is, they don't know what a midwife is and what a midwife does, and you know, they don't know all of their options. Anyway, I won't get too much into that, but that will be in a blog that I'm getting ready to start very, very soon. And I'll tell you about it when I actually get it launched. What else? Speaking of babies, my cousin had a baby about a month too early, and so I had some weird knitting time. I was back and forth to the hospital for a couple of days this past week, and it's pretty far away. So I brought some knitting, and there was a lot of sitting and waiting, obviously. So I was doing some knitting in the hospital and mostly spinning in the hospital, and some reading. So let's get on to what I'm knitting. Today I've got a new project. I'm working on the Heartland Lace Shawl by Evelyn Clark. And I'll show you, it's just a black and white picture of this pattern. It's really a cute lace pattern. I really liked it. It's not too frilly, it's not too girly, but it's really a nice design. It's pretty impressive for not being too difficult. Sorry, I just saw like a bee fly by. I thought it was inside, but it's actually outside. Anyway, I wanted to say, it looks a little different. It may look a little different today because I'm actually trying out the video on my iPad rather than using my webcam. So I don't know if the sound quality is better or worse, or if the visual is better or worse, but I guess let me know in the comments below, and I can decide which one is probably better to use. I'm really excited that the iPad works because it's pretty easy to load videos directly onto YouTube from there. So if this works, then it works. Cool. Anyway, so I was talking about the Heartland Lace Shawl. I guess this was a free pattern on Ravelry. And I must have printed it out a long time ago. It ended up in my craft box, just kind of folded up, and I pulled it out when I was organizing this week and thought it would be a really nice thing to do at the hospital. I'm doing it with my JaggerSpun Zephyr 218. It was on a cone. I have an enormous amount. It's like a lot of the cone that I got. So this is, let's see, it is a lace weight 50/50 merino tussa silk blend. It's so sheeny. It is a really shiny yarn. It has a lot of the gorgeous sheen from the silk, and you can see the parts in it. I'm not sure if it picks it up in here. It looks pretty solid, but you can see pretty well the parts in here that are silk and didn't pick up the dye quite like the merino did, and so it's kind of almost variegated, but it's just a little bit lighter. It's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. Anyway, the green sweater that I was wearing, I think in last week's video, is also out of the JaggerSpun Zephyr, the 50/50 Merino Tussah Silk. It's in emerald. This colorway is called Jade. It's like a teal color. I've only just done like the cast on. And honestly, I didn't do the cast on the way it's written in the pattern. I told you about patterns, how I do about patterns. But anyway, I didn't cast on like the pattern says. I cast on like a normal center, coming from the center down triangle shawl. I'm using my US size 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter boy needles, my boy straight needles. I have a ton of these straight aluminum needles that I got when I first started knitting, and I haven't been using them for the past several years. But I left all my circulars in Germany. All of my circulars are in Germany. Doesn't mean they're lost permanently, it just means they're lost until I get back there. Yeah. It was just so disappointing because I got, for Christmas, I got a set of Addy Turbos, interchangeables, the Addy Turbo interchangeables. And I was so excited, and it had the size that I needed, I think. I think it had the size that I needed. Anyway, this was all that I had. I have these in double points. And so all of my circular needles are gone. I wish I had them, but now's not the time to be buying new needles. That will do. So I started that at the hospital. I just did a little bit. There were a lot of interruptions, and so it wasn't the best time, really, to do that. In any case, I love the yarn. Like I said, I really love this yarn. And I don't love the needles. But we'll see how the pattern goes. I'll let you know how the pattern goes when I really get into the first chart. The second thing that I'm knitting is, last week I told you guys that I had just I was taking out the other sweater that I had started. And I never actually looked up the pattern, which at this point is irrelevant. I switched to the Blank Canvas Baby Sweater by Tanis Lavallee, and I hope I pronounced her name kind of right, because I just hope I did. It's a free pattern on Rav. I'm doing it in Patons Stretch Socks. It's a 41% cotton, 39% wool, 13% nylon, 7% elastic. Great. That I got from AC Moore. I actually got it as bathing suit yarn. I got 2 different skeins. This one is called Sugar. This colorway is called Sugar. It's, that's pretty true to what it looks like. Pink and black and dark pink, light pink, black, gray, and white. It's kind of an odd color combination for me because I really don't wear pink a lot. Like almost never. Anyway, I got it as a bathing suit yarn, and because it has so much stretchy in it, it's very, very, very stretchy. It's very stretchy. It looks kind of like a core spun yarn, and I think what they did is they took a little bit of elastic band, like they just took a string of elastic. If you do any like jewelry or anything like that, you get that little spool of the thin elastic string. Well, I think they just took a core of yarn, of the cotton, and they spun, if you can see that little white around it, they spun that thin elastic around it, and I think that's how they made it so stretchy. And it is very stretchy, so I got it in this other colorway. I don't know what it's called because I can't find the tags and I didn't want to look it up. But I actually made bathing suit bottoms. And these look tiny. They actually are pretty tiny. But I made bathing suit bottoms, but it fits me pretty well. Yeah, it fits pretty well and it stretches, but I haven't tried it in water yet, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe we won't, because I can't imagine. I don't think I'll wear that anywhere out. Anyway, so back to the baby sweater. This is, yeah. I started this sweater. It's a bottom up. It's just like, it's knit flat with like drop sleeves, and it just goes straight across for the top, across the shoulder, and then there are buttons to fasten at the top to get baby easily in and out of it. And it's called blank canvas because you can kind of, you know, do whatever kind of design that you want on it. It's just kind of a blank square canvas for a baby sweater. And since the babies, this is for the first baby that was born a couple of weeks ago. And so she's about 2 weeks and she's growing, I hear. So I want to go ahead and get this done, but it's good and stretchy so that she has a little bit of room to grow. I don't think she's this big yet. Yeah. So, and then the second baby, who's a preemie, is teeny tiny, but his sweater is just going to have to come after I finish this one. But this one I just started last night, so it should be pretty quick. Alright, so that's what I am knitting. So, we'll move on to what I am spinning. First, we'll start with finished spinning. Yay! My first finished spinning is that mint fiber that I was spinning the last couple of weeks. It's from Three Waters Farms that I got from Carolina Fiber Festival. It's done spinning and plying. As you see, it is skeined, which is fantastic. So again, I spun it on my, I think it was in a 1 ounce Ashford spindle, drop spindle. And yeah, okay, so, sorry. So when I measured it, I measured about 172.5 yards. So that's quite a lot of yardage. And it came out to be about a light fingering weight. So it's really quite fine. And it spun up pretty evenly. There were some places where I was moving around the way that I was drafting and the way that I was spinning. I was trying out different kind of hand holes, just kind of, you know, getting used to it. I'm still learning